here we are in Toledo from another part. The bike is beautiful. Wouldn't stop, it just waved hi. I love motorbikes. So in this video I'm going to show you how you can keep a very wide aperture even when the sun is really shining like this. Where's the trick? Today I'm going to Toledo. Yeah, I just need a ride. Well, we can fix that. Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
We're going to Toledo?
Yes,
All
we're
right,
going to Toledo.
Let's hit the road. Seriously. Are you gonna fly the drone?
Yes.
And alright, so I'm with Paolo here. Paolo Cozzi. He has a great channel and it's about drones. So if you're into drones, just go there and subscribe if you understand Spanish. And if you're not into drones, it's gonna make you change your mind.
Please visit my channel and subscribe if you like.
I've been living here in Spain for like 4 years now, or 4. And this is my first time here in Toledo. Oh, here? Okay. Are we really supposed to go down there?
Yes.
All right.
Va a ser aquí en Toledo a lo largo del río. Voy a empezar desde el puente de Alcántara. ¿Necesitas las coordenadas? Vale, sería en 39 grados.
It's confirming with the airport that we can actually fly the drone. We don't want any trouble, so it's just making sure. Paolo is shooting with the drone. I'm gonna tell you something really interesting and show to you, of course. 1 second. The weather is kind of weird. It's like not cloudy. By the way, I want to talk about what happens when we have too much light and we need to film and how we can fix that. For example, right now I'm using the Canon R6 with the 16 to 35 millimeters f2.8 at f2.8, shutter speed 1/50th of a second, which is the way it's supposed to be. ISO 800, which is the native ISO for shooting in C-Log 3. So how do I do that? How can I film with these settings in such bright light? Oh, that's easy. I use something that's called ND filter. ND filters are like sunglasses for your lens. Yeah, like these, just not blue. I'm using one right now, and what happens if I don't use it? Well, I'm gonna show you right away. Okay, now I'm not using it, and I can try to fix that. Closing the aperture, and what is now? F16, F18, F20, F22. Look at it, F22, and it's decently exposed. But when you close the aperture so much, the quality of the image doesn't really improve. Actually, the opposite. What can we do to fix that? We can use an ND filter. In this case, a variable ND filter. So I said they're like sunglasses for your lens. Well, yeah, it's really simplified like this, but that's what they do. They block some of the light depending on their intensity. They go from ND2 to ND1000. and so it depends how much light you need to block, and also it depends on the maximum aperture of your lens and the aperture that you want to use for your shot. But let's see, let's try to get some usable footage at a decent aperture. Okay, so I'm gonna put the ND filter on. Here it is with the ND filter. Now we can widen the aperture. F4 right now. So. Okay, now I think it's already a decent aperture, F4, right? So you can see some color, you can see something is not really overexposed. And let me check if I'm in focus or not. Yeah, seems fine. But let's say you want to bring it all the way to f2.8. So I think like this is properly exposed, which is actually a tiny little bit overexposed because I'm using C-Log 3 and I'm supposed to do that according to my own experience. So right now ISO 800, shutter speed 1/50th of a second, and aperture f2.8. So leave a comment down below and hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already, and check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things. My gear. If you want 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects, check the link to Epidemic Sound. Alright, this is what we get when we use the Canon R6 with the 16 to 35 millimeters, with the adapter of course, f2.8 at f2.8 with so much light, and we can limit the amount of light hitting the sensor using an ND filter. As you can see, we can get some decent shot. Again, leave a comment down below. Okay, now what if we're using the Canon 90D with the 10 to 18 millimeters, for example, which would be the same field of view of this one, because on a crop sensor camera 10 to 18 millimeters corresponds to something like a 16 to 28-ish millimeters, and that lens is an f4.5 maximum aperture, so we'll see it without and with the ND filter. I'm gonna use the same ND filter even though the lens has a different diameter. If you decide to get an ND filter, get it the size of your biggest lens so that you can adapt it to your smaller ones with step-up rings or step-down rings. I heard it both ways. Well, yeah, it depends. Anyway, you need these rings. They're really, really affordable, so you can use one filter with all your lenses. But now let's see the Canon 90D with the 10 to 18 millimeters right now. Now you're looking at the Canon 90D with the 10 to 18 millimeters at 10 millimeters, which corresponds to a 16 millimeters on a full frame, 24 frames per second, 4K, shutter speed 1/50th of a second, ISO 100. You don't need to put it all the way to 800 like on the Canon R6. Aperture now f13. Okay, without ND filter. Let's put the ND filter on, and it's gonna be the same ND filter with a step-up ring like now. So now with the ND filter f13, and we don't need that, so I'm gonna put the aperture lower. Now at its maximum aperture f4.5, and I'm going to adjust the ND filter until I'm happy with the exposure. Like this. What do you think about it? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already. So far we have used this filter on the Canon R6 and on the Canon 90D to get some usable shots, some usable footage. But besides that, the ability to keep a wide aperture gives it the possibility to get some awesome shallow depth of field. So let's see, I'm gonna try it now with a different lens with a wider aperture, and it's gonna be on the Canon R6. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do it on the Canon R6 with the RF 35mm f1.8. Just give me 1 second. So now I'm using the RF 35mm f1.8 with the Canon R6, of course. f22, that's the aperture, otherwise it would be overexposed. I can go a little bit down, like f18 or something. But as soon as I go to f14, you see, meh. So what can I do about it? Again, I'm gonna put the ND filter. same one with a step up ring or a step down ring, whatever. I'm gonna use it right now. Now, aperture f1.8, and look at it. We blocked all the unnecessary light because we didn't need it. It was too much. So now we have just enough to get some awesome shallow depth of field. Why? Because I set it to f1.8. That's the maximum aperture. What do you think about it? Again, leave a comment down below and hit the like button right now. All right. We just need one of them, you know, a better if a variable ND filter. Yeah, I didn't mention that because there are two kinds. One, they're fixed, like you get ND2, ND4 or ND8 or whatever number. The higher the number, the more the light that will be blocked from the filter. But the problem with the fixed ones is that if you get, for example, an intensity like ND32, for example, what if you put it on your lens and it's not enough? What happens? That you'd have to buy another one if you want to shoot with your favorite aperture, with the aperture that you want to use. But even if you get many of them, okay, even if you get many ND filters like fixed, ND2, ND4, ND6, ND8 and so on, it's not really convenient for you. It's not really comfortable. It's not a good thing that you have to try one on, try to see if it suits your purpose, and if not, just unscrew it back, put another one with a different intensity and so on. What if you have to do it like 3, 4, 5 times? How much time are you gonna waste? And time is precious, especially if you are a professional. So get a variable ND filter. I have another one here, I'm gonna show it to you. Like this, for example. That's ND8 to ND128. You just rotate the front element here and you'd be able to change the intensity of the ND filter. It's as simple as that. So just get one variable ND filter, the size of your biggest lens, a set of step-up rings, and Bob's your uncle. Alright, so we have right here our special guest, Paolo, and we have something in common besides being good friends. That, as you know, I use the Canon EOS R, the R6, the M50, and the Canon 90D. And what camera do you use, Paolo?
The Canon 90D.
That's awesome. And why? Why do you choose the 90D for your videos?
Well, I like it because it's just what I need. I don't need a super camera like the R6 or the EOS R. I use it for my channel, to shoot videos for my channel and to talk in my studio. For example, I like that I can use a high ISO without having any grain.
Digital noise,
digital noise, so that's good.
Okay, and, what do you do in your channel?
I make videos about drones. Here I have my Mavic 2 Pro, and if you like, watch my videos. They are in Spanish, but if you know Spanish, otherwise you can translate it.
Or you can learn Spanish. Also, one technical thing. Do you use ND filter? You know, this was the main topic on my video.
Of course, I use it with my drone. As you can see here, there is an ND8 filter on the camera, and it's just simply like that. You put it and you release it.
Yeah, because we all need sunglasses, you see? Sunglasses for your lens. If you visit this channel, you can see that the in-studio shots are shot in the 90D, and you can learn a lot about drones. So, but for example, show us something. Can you show us around here in the city, in Toledo, with your drone?
Yes, I can.
Let's check it out now. You're in the shot. Voila. Hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't already.